Welcome back. Sorry about that. Let me see. Let me just admit everybody, make sure that okay, admit all. There's Layla. Is that Leslie? Okay, there's Layla, LA. There's Leslie, IE, okay. Jessica is back, yay. Okay, let me see. I think we're nearly in, but people are still coming. And you know, we have really a lot of people today. I'm so proud to hear that. Let me see. Okay, I think we got everybody. Maybe if somebody will come up, I will let them enter. Okay, so who else was I think I talked to what, 4 or 5 people. I want to say if I talked to the other 3 because then we'll continue about classroom management topic. Is somebody else there? Can you, Edison, Edwin, Jane, can you help me see if there's the other folks are here? What are the 7 of you? We added Jana. Okay, Joy, Jing, 3, 4, 5. Who's missing then? Who's missing?
No, we're done.
Huh?
The 7 of us, we're done, I guess, ma'am.
Who?
I guess the 7 of us, ma'am, we're done.
Okay. And okay, are done. Okay. All right. So let me have you talk to the rest of them, because I want you all, whenever the others, I want you all to think about a question you might want to ask the 7, because I told them you're my special guests. Because I thought about doing a separate one with you, but I thought the others need to kind of learn from you, because they are right now applicants. They're not hired yet. And so all the learning that they will get, it will be very beneficial. And that's what I thought, that there will be something that, you know, it's very encouraging to see. There's more than 100 applicants right now, but it's very encouraging to see that, hey, it's not an impossible dream. It actually does happen. And so you are the examples, you know, that it does happen. Okay, so let me see if we can start with Leslie or Layla. Is that Layla? Yeah, I cannot even hear you. Okay, Layla, can you talk to us, Layla? Tell them a little bit quickly about yourself, and then if you have a question, say it.
Good morning, Dr. Merlina.
Good morning.
And
love your hair.
Good evening to the rest of
Helena Bunch. Helena.
the teachers.
Yeah.
I'm Leila Lea Saban. I am an elementary teacher at Garita Elementary School, and I'm teaching for 17 years. And I'm proud to say that I was interviewed last night by the Rodep Solon School that was in New York.
Okay.
And I put there in my reference is you, Doc Merlina. So they sent me the invitation last June 21. Then last night they interviewed me. So it was the department head and the principal.
Okay, good.
Only 2 of them. And I'm hoping that I will be hired.
Yeah.
As a elementary science teacher.
Okay, well, I hope. Did it sound like the interview went well? Did it sound, you know, positive for you?
Yeah, because she all of the questions that you had given us, the examples, they asked
you?
it like, how do you get along with your peers? So I said, oh, that's very easy. You know, I would like to bring them Filipino food like adobo.
You bribed them.
And she said, oh, that's great. We want to taste adobo in the Philippines. Then she asked me, how long are you going to be here? So I said, oh, if you're going to hire me as soon as possible,
Yeah.
Then she laughed. Okay, okay, okay. You will know you will know the result early next week. She said,
Whoa,
just
good
was
luck. I hope you get it. I hope you do get it. I'm so excited for you. I am a flight away from New York. I have been in New York, but which part of New York was it?
That was I think in Manhattan because
Oh my
Roderick
gosh, that's like
Solom
rich
is.
people.
Ma'am, my only concern is because it is not a public school, but it is a private school, I think.
Okay, well, if it's a private school, they will actually take better care of you than the private and the public, because New York public school's huge, really big. And the administrators will not have, I don't think, or have time to actually individually help you. But from my experience there, I was a lead evaluator. I was doing an evaluation for the accreditation. We were deciding on the accreditation, and I noticed that the private school, small, and it's mostly, is it a Catholic school, or what is it? Is it a denominational school?
It is
You
a
know.
Catholic school.
Okay, they will take care of you. They like family. That's what I noticed with interviewing everybody. I interviewed the principal, I interviewed their all the teachers, there's some parents, students, and it seemed like a whole family. Like it feels like a family setting, and I'm sure that that's kind of common with religious schools. So you can kind of tell the people that interviewed you how caring they are. You know, if they're really nice and stuff, you're gonna have to, whenever, if they give you the job, you need to ask them about housing. Can you please help me on
Yes.
housing? Because in some bigger cities, bigger states, they're gonna say, oh, you're on your own. Okay.
Yes.
And if they need any visa processing help, tell them that they can always call me, give them my information and all that, or they already have it. So, and I don't mind helping. Do you already have a visa sponsor identified?
The last night they asked me if I known some visa sponsor, and I told them we have lots of visa sponsor here, but
Uh-huh.
I'm telling them, well, it depends upon you, ma'am. If what kind of sponsor are you going to give me? Is it a J1 visa or an H1 visa? Oh, she laughed so loud.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
H1B visa, what happens is that that's longer, because they have to actually have some kind of Department of Labor requirement where they have to advertise the job and do all this marketing, showing that they need the position filled, but they could not fill it. They have to show that. Once they have shown that, then the Department of Labor, then that's met, and then before they can even do the H1B. So that's why it takes longer. And so anyway, and it's stricter, so it takes longer to get approved. So that's why people would do J1 visa, and what they do later is they will do a J1 a J1 extension, and after they do the extension, then they will do the waiver to waive the 2-year physical presence that is required by the by J1 visa, right? So when you are interviewed, you'll be interviewed twice. You'll be interviewed by your visa sponsor itself, because they're going to see if you're a good fit for their program. And then once you pass that, then they will you have to do the fees and all that then. But once you pass it, and they've considered you as a placed candidate, you kind of being placed by them, and then they will release the DS 2019 2019, and that DS 2019 is what you need to apply for the J1 visa from the US Embassy. And so, but they will, because you pay them, the visa sponsor and the fees, they will actually guide you through the whole process. So once you've identified and once you have been, accepted by them, you can, you actually have a hand there helping you. Okay.
Yes.
And see what the other schools here in Arkansas are doing. They also have the visa sponsors, but because they're so busy that they might not be able to meet the deadlines of paperwork, whatever. So they're actually asking me to kind of guide the candidates, because I get to I guess I will text the administrators or whatever to say, hey, you need, this deadline needs to be met now, whatever, don't miss it. Whatever, because some of them, they just kind of, okay, I'll do it later. But once you have somebody that would kind of, bug them or remind them, and that seems to help, because I'm helping another school right now, and that seems to be what I'm noticing, that because of the time of the year, most of the reports and all that I do, so they do not have the time. That might not be a priority at that time for them. But when they get my text, then they make it a priority, because they see that, oh, this has to be done today. This has to be, mailed to, responded tomorrow, things like that. And I also have usually I have the text also, the email or the phone numbers of the assistants, which also helps. So I would CC all of them. Yeah. So, hey, good luck. And I hope you do get it. You have to let me know if you do. Sounds like
Yes,
you did a
ma'am.
good job with the interview then. So if you studied some of the interview tips that I gave you, that's good.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's great news. Okay, who else? How about Mark? Mark is new. Mark, can you talk to us with your picture? Oh, we can hear you. You have you don't have a sound? Oh, you have to unmute yourself. Mark, unmute yourself, please. Okay, there you go.
Hi, Doc Martina.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Maayong buntag sa idea. Doc.
Oh, my buntag.
I
Yeah.
I am Mark Buendia, and I am from Negros Occidental, but I am living here in the southernmost part or municipality of Negros Occidental. So, sa mix ma'am kat ang Bisaya og ang Ilonggo.
Okay.
So kasabot ko nimo, ma'am.
Kasabot ka. Okay, that's
Um,
good. But the
I
thing
am
is, some of us
currently-
are Tagalog here. That's why I always use English so that everybody will understand. Yeah, but that's great. And thank you for attending. Okay, tell us about you, your
Yes, Doc,
experience,
thank
and what
you.
you're teaching, and have you been interviewed?
I am currently a senior high school teacher,
Okay.
A mathematics teacher, and I have been teaching here in one of the public secondary schools in Negros Occidental for
Okay.
more than 8 years now, 2 years in the junior high school and 6 years in the senior high school with subjects, general mathematics, statistics, and probability, and sometimes research for quantitative.
Okay.
And I am very thankful with Ma'am Lani Tulayba for introducing Dr. Merlina.
Okay, well,
And
that's good.
I am currently applying directly to email accounts of the school administrators who may need mathematics teachers. And honestly, I have been interviewed for the first time way back in May, third week of May, and
Okay.
I have never been so confident with how it happened, because maybe because of these 8 people in North Carolina, I was shocked with their presence, and it was 5 a.m. in the morning. I have never been so confident with my speaking skills, ma'am. And this one is a great opportunity for me to harness my skills in
Yes.
public speaking. And I am not used in speaking virtually with phones in front of me.
But
So
don't
I
tell
think
them
it's a
that.
good
Don't
start.
tell them that. Don't ever
Yes.
tell them that. Yeah.
But
Did
I was
you-
really disappointed of myself.
Oh, no, that's okay. That was a good practice for you. You know, God has plans for us, and that was not a
Thank
plan
you,
for
Doc.
you. So you have to look at it that way. Otherwise, you'll be discouraged. Okay. Don't ever get
Thank you,
discouraged.
Doc.
That was not the place for you. Okay. And so did you
Yes,
look at
Doc.
my
Amen.
interview tips? Did you look at my interview tips? I always send that to you guys. The link to the interview tips. Did you see that?
Yes, Doc. And
Okay.
currently, with the requirements that you prescribed me to submit, I was still waiting for the 2 other character references that I have
Okay.
to reply, and I mean to submit their documents to me, and then in the day after tomorrow, or maybe tomorrow, I can submit
Okay.
it to you.
That sounds good, because what I'm noticing is that the superintendents, I sent all the names to the superintendents in Arkansas, and most of them know me because I work at the state level. And so anyway, so what I've noticed is that they were giving interviews to people with the links to their letters of recommendation, because they were actually able to read about you from other teachers or administrators. And so it seems like they were the ones that were able to get interviews. That's what I noticed, because I was looking for patterns. But good news for you is high school science and high school math are very rare around here. So you should have a very big chance. In fact, I'm already planning that when I get done with this Zoom, I'm going to be sending specific people with your name on it. That way, I've met you and so on, because they always ask me, Merlina, have you talked to these people? Or they would say, Merlina, will you send me folks that are names of people that you have actually talked to, that you have actually met? That's why it's important for you all to attend at least one orientation type thing, because I do not want to lie to them that I've met you and I haven't. Because you can read a lot whenever you talk to people. And I think you seem to be like excited about teaching, passionate, and that is something that you need to show during your interview. You need to show, and that's what I did when every time I was interviewed in any job, I was always showing them I'm passionate about children. I cannot believe they pay me to do this kind of answer, because I feel that. That's what I feel. I was like, oh my gosh, they pay me to do this. I'm having so much fun with my students, because I always believe that I want to make learning fun. I want my students to come in and cannot wait to get to my classroom. And that's the feeling that I've always wanted and instilled, that, parent conference would say, oh, Merlina, I don't know what you're doing this year, but my child always hated school, but this year they love it. And so all the things that I did with, authentic things, some of the cooking, some of the advertising, some of the, weather reporting, all those things that I did that have them do that are actual activities outside, they love those things because other teachers are not doing it. So anyway, just make learning real. Yeah. So anyway, so once you interview, you will do well if you just show your enthusiasm and you show your passion, right? That's why you were in education to start with. Right? And when they're asking you about why do you want to teach in America, don't just say it's because of the money. It's because you want to grow as a person. You want professional and personal growth for you. That learning another culture is important, and sharing our own culture is important for the students, because diversity is a strength. Us being different is a good thing, and that we need to understand each other's similarities and differences. Those are some good answers that you can say that you want to grow. Okay, you have something to offer. Yeah, you have something to offer, and you have something to learn.
Wonderful tip, Doc.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc, for sharing.
Yeah, anytime. That's why if you attend here, I think Jessica is one of my regulars here. If you attend here, I think you always pick up a nugget or two, right, Jessica? Thank you again, Mark. Hey, Jessica, tell them about some things that you might have learned. I mean, tell them about yourself first, and then tell them some things that you may have picked up from some of our meetings, if you don't mind.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, Doc.
Morning.
So again, I am Jessica Catid from Negros Oriental, Philippines. I have been teaching for almost 5 years now. I started off as a substitute teacher, and then got lucky enough to be given a permanent teaching position by my current principal. And I have had a lot of interviews already. I was applying since 2019, and with Dr. Merlina's regular Friday Zoom orientations, I have learned a lot. I have learned what went wrong with my previous applications, and right now I am waiting for a reply from Decatur High School principal, Mr. Toby Conrad, and also Mr. Willie Harris from West Memphis. He emailed me yesterday. He scheduled an interview, and it will be on June 30.
Oh my God, good luck. But that's funny because your Mr. Conrad and I talked. He called me, as I told you, and he sounds very promising that he really liked you. And the problem with that is he's gonna get his result on July 1, and you get your interview with Mr. Harris on June 30th, and they may not decide immediately. That's a big school, by the way. West Memphis is a really big school. It's mostly Black kids also. Decatur is mostly white. Decatur is a small school. And Mr. Conrad sounds like a really nice guy too, but it will be hard for you. You'll have to decide. If you want a big school, do West Memphis. If you want a small school, do Decatur. West Memphis will be a bigger city. It's gonna be about just about 30, less than 30 minutes from Memphis, where Elvis Presley was born. You know, that's very close to everything. But Decatur would be kind of more of a very rural area. So it's a
Yes.
small place like mine. Although I do, as me, I am biased to small school because I have always lived in a small area here. We have only one stoplight here. That's how little ours is. And so, but because I drive, I just drive everywhere. I know I go to, Helena 4 hours later, and I pass by Memphis, an hour away before I get to Helena. So I always pass by West Memphis and then Memphis before I get to Helena. Yeah. So either way, whatever you choose and whatever I guess chose you really, good luck. So what were you thinking now? Do you want a big city or small?
I don't I currently don't think about either big or the rural district, but I would like a school that is near to Christine's school, and so I applied to is it Marvel Elaine school district, because they're also hiring, and that is like 25 minutes away
Very
from
close. That is right. That you could see them every day if you want to. And Marvel is mostly white school. And I'm saying the diversity, what kind they are, in order for you to understand what kind of culture you have to deal with. Okay. And Marvel, I have talked to some of them and they seem to be really nice too. And I passed by it on the way from Brinkley, Brinkley where Maria is and where Christine would be. And I passed by Marvel before I get to Helena. So Marvel is actually kind of between Helena and Brinkley. So you're kind of be in between these 7 people that you just heard, and also the Brinkley, which I think they're gonna have 4 of them total. So they had 3. So there will be 4 total in Brinkley. And Brinkley also have a contract with me. I just sent it back to her that I will also be helping. I'll be there at least once a week, or if not every other week. So between the 2 schools so far, I'll be there weekly. So yeah. So that's good.
Have received the reply yet from Marvel Elaine. I emailed one of the representatives. I don't know if she's the principal or superintendent, but she gave me another link, and that is the link to the application form. And then I sent it to another person, same person with two email addresses. So I am really waiting for the reply.
Yeah.
Basta I want a school doc that is near to Christine.
Yeah, well, that would be, and don't you can mention those, that it is something that I'm really hoping that I get a job at your school, because I will have lots of friends close by that will be, they will support each other, and we all need friends, especially at your age. You want that support, your feeling of support. Although Arkansas is not that big, that the farther school from you is about like me, 4 hours away. Pretty much like that state is that little, it's not like you can reach the end of that state in 4 hours. So from one end to the other. So it's not like you're going to be very far away, although you're busy anyway. So you really don't have time to be seeing each other. Most likely you will see each other on weekends. And so even if you are farther away and that is really what's meant for you, don't not take it. I mean, take it even though it's far, because you can always move later. You just want to get your foot in the door, although I think your J1's visa sponsor really would like for you to stay in one school. So that's kind of tricky, because they want, if you are not with them, if you're not in the school that you have applied, you have to redo it. You have to make sure you have another another deal with, you have to redo it with another school. So that's kind of tricky, but God will guide you. If that is really meant for you, it will happen. Okay. So do you have like a certain time that they say that you will be given the result or anything?
I think with Decatur High School, it will be next week.
Okay.
But
but Willie Harris, West Memphis, did they say they will hire when? Sometimes they do that.
no,
Okay.
doc. He
Okay.
just scheduled me for an interview.
That is in
June.
6 days. So yeah, if you ever want to do a mock interview with me, just let me know and we will do a separate individual mock interview, and I will comment on your answers and tell you better ways or additional things you might want to say. If you want to do that, I don't mind. Okay.
Yes,
So
Doc.
just email me. Anyway,
Thank you.
okay. Well, thank you again for attending. You're one of my regulars. Yay. Okay, let me see who else is here. Oh, Leslie IE. So Leslie, tell me about where you are in the process. Leslie's school also is Barton. That's only about 10 minutes from Helena. So that's gonna be very close. If you end up there, Jessica, she's also gonna be close to you because Barton Lexa is like the next school next to Helena. So it's very, very close. And so tell me, Leslie, I'm
Yeah.
helping Leslie with her visa processing. Leslie, where are you? Where are you now on it?
Good morning, Doc. Good evening, everyone. So I am already waiting for my embassy interview, and that will be on July 7. So
Ooh.
I'm already preparing for it, and I cannot sleep well at night. I'm so nervous.
Well, it sounds like Edison have had
And
that interview. So Edison, because Edison already got his
Yeah.
visa. So Edison, were the questions difficult?
Actually, ma'am, the interview questions were quite easy. It's more on personal aspect, just like where do you teach? What's the name of the school? Where will you stay there? So what else? Actually, I have a list of the interview questions in my phone.
oh, thank you, sir.
So these are the questions, ma'am, that were raised to me. So during my interview, since I'm working as an overseas science teacher, so it's kind of related to international settings. So the first question was, are you a teacher? Are you working here in Riyadh as a teacher?
Mm,
You will go to Arkansas? Are you still single or already married?
mm,
School is a public school. What is the name of your school? Your school will give your salary. How much is your salary? What grade level are you going to teach? What subject? When is the start of your program? How many years will you stay there? And then finally, here's your pamphlet. Please read all your rights here so that you will be guided once you are already there in the United States. Congratulations. Enjoy your
Yeah.
stay.
Oh,
very
Oh.
basic. Essentially, Leslie, they are just checking the information is correct, that what you answer matches the paperwork. It's essentially what's going on. And of course, those questions are gonna be the same because it's gonna be different in every embassy. And remember, he is in the Saudi Arabian embassy. Manila, even in Manila, they're not gonna be the same because it's gonna be depending on who you get. You know, some of them are shorter,
Yes.
shorter questions than others. Some of them really want a lot of details depending on what the person feels like he needs, because they're pretty much,
Yes.
that my brother-in-law who works for immigration said that essentially they're just checking if the information matches. That's really all that
So-
yeah. And also that
would
you
have-
have housing. So you make sure that you know about housing, how to answer the housing question, that you need, how, what does it look like here? Do you have a place to stay and all that? So you need to make
Yes,
sure that
Doc.
you have that situated and know the answer to that. Okay, and they are
Yes,
looking
Doc.
for a housing for you. In fact, I'm gonna be talking to Mr. Your superintendent Guthrie on that, to see that if they have already made arrangements. They were supposed to be asking for some teachers or somebody that might have room if you are, at first, until they get an actual house, because that's a small town. Barton is like Salem, really small. Yeah, but I did see on the Zillow. You go to Zillow.com and you type the town, and you will see the different houses there, either for rent or for sale. So Zillow, Zillow. Zillow.com is a very common, or realtor.com are common places here to look for houses. Just type your town. Okay, so
Okay.
a lot of the places, what I noticed was if they could not find one, they will have you room with a teacher that's maybe working with you, a single teacher, and of course the same gender. And then that way you also have a ride to school. And that's what they were looking at right now for you guys. But because there are two of you, they're really looking for a place where you can room, you can room together with Marissa. And since you and Marissa had been talking, I don't know if Marissa's here or today or not, but you and Marissa have already been talking to each other. That's a good thing. That way you kind of have that relationship already. Have you been talking to her?
And she's really happy with regards to her visa sponsor. because she's taking so long with all the documents. I think she's in the verification process right now, and I don't think I think she's really having a problem with the VS sponsor doc. But I will ask her again tonight if
Yeah,
what's the update already,
yeah,
because
because
she's really
yeah,
messaging.
because yeah, she was asking me, she kept reminding me to ask the superintendent, because what happened is superintendent was out of town. He was attending or having a personal break. As administrators here get about 2 weeks of break. So when you catch them around their break time, 2 weeks, if we run out, we'll have the last video. We come back in the last time. Anyway, so what happens is that he is on vacation, which is usually 2 weeks, and with his family and going another state or sometime abroad. So that's what happened to her, is that she was trying to do that. And so the superintendent luckily has been checking the email. So every time she would remind me, it's like, hi, I still haven't heard. So I would like text Bruce and the superintendent, and then I would CC the other two people there in the school. And so one of them finally said, okay, we did it yesterday. And so then I sent it to Marissa. I said, Marissa, it's done. And so now she's on the next step. So it took them
All right.
2, 3, 4, 5 days to do it, but it was before the deadline. And then now it's the visa sponsor, Greenheart, is not answering to her very, promptly. So who is
Yes.
the visa sponsor? Is it Greenheart too? Who are
Yeah.
you using?
Mine is GSC doc. It's Global Educational Concept. So it's GS is way faster than Greenheart.
Yeah.
So she's really messaging me because Greenheart is not very responsive to her like questions about the visa processing thing, and I think she will let you know if she will really be having a hard time about it.
Yeah, does
Because
GSC, is GEC still able to get people, or they have the limit already?
no doc, they're already full.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that's why Greenheart was the next choice, because GEC has helped a few people, and they
Yes.
are very CERN, I said Sir CERN is very fast at answering. That's what Maria's sponsor.
Very responsive, and you will not really worry about your process because they will really reply with all of your emails, all of your inquiries.
Yeah, and you want a visa sponsor like that, because
Yeah.
I do not know what the deal is with Greenheart, because other people have better experience with Greenheart. So I do not know if they have several people, and some people are more responsive than others. Sometimes you have that, you'll end up with somebody that's so responsive, and some of them will end up with not. And so I wish that I need to find out who are the others who are using Greenheart. Maybe I can compare who the person that they are communicating. If it's different,
Yes.
maybe that's the difference, is the people. If it's the same person, then I do not know, maybe a timing issue also, of
Yes.
what that person is doing right now. We have our own lives too, but sometimes they forget that how important it is, that you really need to get it done.
Yes. No.
And so that's why I am in the process of becoming one. I have to do my nonprofit
Yay!
thing first. And so when I do, I hope I do, then I get approved by IRS to become a nonprofit organization with my consulting business. And then I would be able to have that control, because I think you are given so many slots, but at least I will have control on the slots I'm given. So that's kind of where I am. Do not tell the other sponsors that I'm doing that. They don't answer my email anyway. They don't want third party. They want to deal with the applicant and the school only. I learned that. They don't like me. They don't like any control. Huh? What?
I'm really very happy because a lot of my colleagues here in my school are now on the process of applying as a J1 teacher in the USA. So I can finally recommend you as their visa sponsor.
I hope
They
I
will
hope
not be
I will
happy.
tell I will tell you in one meeting if I get approved, if I get all the paperwork done, because I do not know if they have a limit of how many they can have, but I'm really working hard and getting it, kind of jumping all the requirements and the hoops that they want you to jump. But the thing is, I don't really have a big organization yet, so but my advantage is that I already have all the folks, that I have listed, that I have kind of vetted, is what I call them. And so that's my advantage, because some of them would have a visa sponsorship and they don't have access to people. to hire. I already have
Yeah.
that part done. So my part now is just to
Yes.
make sure I get approved, as a visa sponsor. So that's my hope. That's my prayers. So, all right. Well, I'm excited for you, Leslie. It seems like you're one step ahead than Marissa, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I
Yeah.
done it with your help.
Yeah. No
You have
problem. Good luck. Good luck on your interview. Yeah.
thank you
I-
much, Dr.
Yeah. Don't
You.
be scared on the interview. Just think of it as a verification,
Yes,
process. Okay. All right.
Dr.
Sounds good. Let me see who else is here. Who is next? Lenora? You want to talk to us, Lenora? Yeah, talk to us if you don't mind.
Good morning, Doc, and good evening,
Morning.
everyone. So I have just listened to all of you because I was just arrived late because I was attended the ISO certification awarding in the Department of Education in the central office in the
Oh,
Philippines. So
congratulations. Yeah, okay.
yeah, our school is the pilot one.
Okay.
Our school in the division and our office also in the division of Binyan is the pilot for the medium division.
Okay.
And then as I arrive at home, I need to attend an interview also in Florida.
Ooh.
I just received the link in the morning and I forgot to attend because of the meeting.
Oh, no.
And then I asked the principal to to resend again the schedule today. So she sent, so I was praying while we are on our way home because central office is from Pasig and I need to go back to our home in Santa Rosa, Laguna. So thank God I attended interview
Okay. How did it
using
go?
MS Teams.
How did it
So
go?
because I was tired, maybe, but the principal said the district office is now closed because they are on the vacation already.
Mhm.
And she said that the result will be next week, maybe.
Did you
But
feel good
she's,
about it? Did you feel good
yeah,
about
but
it?
yes, but she said, I want to work with you, something like that.
Good.
I don't know. I don't know. And then she said, what do you want to teach? I mean, I can bring you here in the United States. I don't know if that is true or not. Maybe I can wait because she said I need to check your eligibility first. But I said I I I have my state of New Mexico license
Mhm.
on special education, pre-K to 12 special education with endorsement in business technology, something
Okay.
like that. So she said, I see, sabi niya.
That should
She
help
said
you.
like that.
Yeah, that should be
I
helpful
think
because
so.
because it's a New Mexico, which is another state only. So that's going to
Yeah,
be a very easy
so she
reciprocal.
also asked the certification in the Philippines. So what I said was I have my certification in business technology in the PRC. But of course, my major is computer assisted instruction. But when I took my licensure exam, I fall under the business technology licensure.
So you
So
may have
that's
to take a praxis. You need to mention I am willing to take a praxis test, praxis, in my field, in the special education field or whatever field you want me to teach. So you want to say that you are willing to take a praxis, any praxis test. That might be that's good to say, okay, that you're willing to do that, because if you
yes.
you are teaching out of field, in most states you are allowed maybe 2 years. They call that a provisional license and then you are given 2 years to make it right, which is taking a praxis test. So you have to
And
do they have to do a paperwork out of field form or something.
she asked Doc about VE. I forgot the term about special education exam. I forgot VA, victory and V, something like that. But in the Philippines, it's like push in, pull out
Okay.
session, I think. And she explained about it. And then afterwards, she asked what do you want to teach, because you need to teach, you need to help the students, middle school, she said. You need to teach the students in teaching reading and writing and mathematics. I think that is some maybe tutorial or something.
Sounds like maybe an
It
interventionist.
sounds interventionist,
That's
something
it,
like that.
interventionist. That
And
is a very common position, and it's very small
because
number.
yeah, because she explained that those students will mix in the classroom and they are slow, and
Mhm.
I need